A very good morning to all. I am Siddhartha, second year IT. I and Devjit will be your instructor for today's forum of C++. A special note of thanks to the team of Phoenix for providing me with the opportunity. So let's start off. Okay, let me check. Yeah. Okay. So first the question comes: why to choose C++ when other languages are quite abundant? And the answer is that in the field of competitive programming, 85%, the statistics say 85% of the users use C++ as their primary language. Uh, let me show you Codeforces. Codeforces, the highest rating. Can't compete all future contests, top performers. Yeah, the top performer in the codeship codes in C++. There is nothing to show more proofs. Well, C++ also has a very awesome template which is known as the standard template library, which has bunch of data structure which can be implemented, and we would be talking it in the future. But as of now, just know that the features of C++ are more preferable in competitive programming compared to Java or Java, C, Python, etc. I was also a Java competitive coder, but recently I switched to C++. First, we would talk about setting up a development environment on coding C++. First, the development environment should be set up. I am using Ubuntu, but yours might be Windows. Okay, so first you need to download Sublime Text. The first search Sublime Text download. Okay, you need to download the Sublime Text for Windows or Linux. I have already installed. There is nothing to be done further. Okay, then you need to add the GCC compiler. GCC compiler for C. GCC compiler for C. You need to download. Pause the video and take down the URLs of the link. Okay, and download from here. Then setting a small extra procedure is for Windows that a path need to be set up, and you can and I don't have Windows, but I can show you one thing. C++ development tutorial with VS Code or Linux with Sublime. Yeah, C++ setup. You should watch these videos. I recommend watching this video, that is the coding blocks, and I watched this video and I have set up my development environment. Okay, moving forward, and then after your basic environment is set up, your development environment should look like this. Wait, let me save. Home project, hello world, temp1.cpp. Okay, see, your program should look like this. Should be the editor. This is the output window. This is the input window. Okay, this should be your initial setup. Wait, let me open a file. Projects, hello world, input.txt. Yeah. input of txt template, and this would be output of txt. Yeah, so basically you would be provide this is the coding arena where you would be coding. Don't think much about the sentences already put up. If you are familiar, it's good to go. If you aren't, then isn't an issue. Okay, moving forward, this would be the input field where you would be giving the input, and this would be the output field where you would be getting the output. First, let us check the development environment. Int x, cn x, and cout x. Let's give it an input of 5. Yeah, it is working absolutely fine. So I'm giving, what I have done is I am giving an input of 5, and what I would be giving input, it would be already been output in the output box. So first we would be talking about the basic terminologies of a simple C++ skeleton program. Now what is a skeleton program? First let me delete all this. This is temp. After you watch the video to set up a development environment, you would get to know that these 4 lines are for input and output, which would be getting executed if you are on a local machine, and which won't be executed if you are on an online judge. If your answer is being judged by an online judge. And this is to include the libraries. This is to include the libraries which are already present there. This is to include the basic libraries and input output stream. Actually, it isn't a good practice to include all the libraries at once. This program, this sentence, wait, let me, are you good to go? Or I should increase the size? Okay, it's fine. Okay, yeah. This line includes all the libraries, but it isn't a good practice. But as of now, we would be bearing with this because the libraries which aren't needed by us should not be loaded, should not be used. Using namespace std means that we would be using cout and cn in our program. This is the int main, which is the main function, and this is the closing, and this is the return, because int returns a return statement 0. This can be void too. Void means it won't return anything, and then this wouldn't be blank, but it isn't prescribed. As according to the basic rules and regulations, if followed, we would need a return 0. And these 2 lines are for faster input and output. You can ignore this, you won't be needing it as of now. So I am deleting it as of now. Okay, then comes the next part. What are variables and what are data types? Variables and data types just means that every particle can be assembled in a particular group, and this group in programming language is called data type. Think of now that an integer from minus, it isn't the actual range, I am talking about the basic range in layman's language, minus 100 to 100 integer, we have to store it. Integer can be stored in a variable type known as int. I wish to store an English alphabet called A or B or C or 1 or exclamation mark or any character. It can be a number, it can be a special number, it can be a number, it can be alphanumeric, or it can be a numeric. That can be stored in char, character, int for integer, char for char. And if we want to just store, if think of someone who replies in only yes or no, he doesn't talk much. That, of course, I am that kind of guy. But as of now, think of someone who just uses yes or no. They can be referred as Boolean. Boolean stores just true or false. They can be stored as bool. And think of someone, I want to store 5.55, 6.33, 7.44. That ain't an integer. It can't be stored in an integer. Lower range is stored in float. Greater range is stored in double. Okay. Now let's move forward. Now I assume that you know about the basic variables in C++ programming language. Okay. Now taking you forward, the basic initialization. First we need to initialize int 5, int x variables. If they are grouping. I am grouping a particular amount of children. But after the grouping, I need to put the particular amount of children in a specific classroom. That classroom is known as variables. Int x is equal to 5. Okay. Then cout. Cout means console output. Console output is variable x. Variable x, then space. Okay. See, if I run this, sorry, yeah, it output 5. Okay. Now for instance, you can directly console output a integer value or a string 5. This would produce the same output. Let me clear out the this is producing the same output. Let me change the digit to so that you can differentiate well. See, it is producing the same output. Okay. Now if you want to store a character, it is done. If you want to store integer, decimal, it all is done. But if you want to store a name or a sentence or a paragraph, you can do that in string. String s is equal to, which is enclosed in double brackets, Siddharth. Okay, then cout s. Yeah, it is giving out the basic input of Siddharth. Okay, now variable is done, data types are done. Now we would be moving forward with a basic program to take an input of n, check if it is a prime number or not. If it is prime, we would be outputting prime. If not prime, we would be outputting composite. Okay, then int x, cn x, we would be writing a function. A function is basically what I can tell about. This is the main function. My bad, sorry. This is the main function. He is the main chief of this clan and he can assign tasks to other peoples, and the other people would be known as function. The other people known as function, they can do the calculation and they can produce the output, or they can just do the calculation without producing output. Okay, first we would the basic terminologies of declaring a function involves of first wait, let me check if the recording is going on fine. Yeah, it's going on fine. Okay, first basic void, the return type is void and name of the function, and then int x, we would be giving the person the input. Okay, now what needs to be done? For those who don't know prime number, I am assuming that you do already know prime number. If you don't know prime number, switch to elementary maths and learn about it and then come back again to the video. Okay, a primary number basically has two divisors, one and the number itself. And if we ignore the numbers one and the number itself, then a prime number has no divisors excluding one or the number itself. So we would be taking that into account, and for loop int I is equal to 2, I is less than equal to n, and I plus plus. I am assuming that you already know what are basic loops: for loop, while loop, and do while loop. If you don't know, I would be explaining. This is the basic for loop syntax, and int I is the initialization, and this initialization should all, after being computed, should always be less than the number. Okay, and after every iteration, the number should be incremented by 1. 1 plus plus is equal to I is equal to I plus 1. We basically like to write I plus plus, which means I should be incremented by 1. Okay, now I would be explaining you about this syntax I plus plus and plus plus I. Okay, moving forward, if n percentile I is equal to 0, then return false. Sorry, my bad. Okay, this is the basic syntax. This function would be returning Boolean type. The function name is prime. It would be taking an input of x, and after a for loop would be initiated. Now, what is the meaning of this as a modulo? Modulo in programming language, as far as I know, in most of the programming language, in C++, modulo means it returns the remainder. Think of it as 10 modulo 2. If 10 is divided by 2, what would be the remainder? 10 modulo 2 would be 0. Now 11 modulo 2, the output would be 10 divided by 2 returns a remainder of 1. So output would be 1. So modulo remainder in layman's language basically returns, gives the output as gives the remainder as output. Okay, so if the number itself is divided by I, and if the remainder is 0, that it is a divisor. This lines means that if I is a divisor of x, it would return false, that the number isn't prime. And after that, if it isn't get executed, it would return true. Okay, now int x, if prime x is true, cout I actually make a lot of errors, so please bear with me. Every time I write a code, I need to debug it. No. Save. Let's input a 5 and let's check, and I'm sure the program won't run. It is showing prime. After that, 6. No, the program is working absolutely fine. Now, this is working fine. So basically, if there resides a divisor between two to less than the number would return false. If now we have given the input to the function, if the function returns a true value, then it outputs prime. If the function returns a false value, the output isn't prime, is not prime. Okay, let's move forward. Now you can, after this, you need to practice programs with the basic like simple interest, simple interest, simple interest program in C++, basic programs in C++, simple interest program, prime number, GCD, LCM. GCD basically means highest common HCF, LCM. After that, you need to again come back. After you have completed the basic questions, now comes here a trick. A trick, or I can say a simple thing. After you have practiced a bunch of basic program, move forward to HackerRank. Obviously, this isn't the best roadmap, but according to me, this has worked, and hope this should work you too. Okay. After you have launched on HackerRank, make an account of it, and then move forward to problem solving. This is the basic dashboard. After you make an account, you need to again log in, and then you would be coming here at the dashboard. Okay, then you click on problem solving. Problem solving. Wait, let me, yeah, you land here. Here is the problem solving part. Now click on difficulty. Unsolved is deleted. Click on difficulty. Difficulty, change the difficulty to as medium, easy. First you need to solve the easy ones. First you need to go with the easy ones to get you acquainted, and then you need to go forward. Okay, easy ones I need to. Okay, now what is input output program? What is input output? Wait, let me tell you what is input output. Sample input 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So first we are giving an input n, and we would be entering 1, 4, 3, 2, and then the output should be reversed. What should be the output? The output should be reversed. So first try to lead the question. An array is a type of data structure that stores elements of the same type in a contiguous block of memory. In an array A of size n, each memory location has some unique index that can be referenced at a-i, and you need to, I have already understood, you need to know the input format. The input format tells us that it contains the number of integers. First it would tell how many people, then how many people, then the people would be given, and you need to print out the element which are referred to as people. You need to print out the element in the reverse order. Okay, and these are the constraints. What are the constraints? This constraint means that the number of input n will not exceed 10 to the power 3, which is 1000. 1 to 1000. N would not increase 1 to 1000. And then ai is, and the number which would be provided will be from 1 to 10,000. Okay, this is, I would be clearing this. Okay, this is the input format, and this should be the output format. I would be solving you a basic question so that you get to know. Okay, I need to clear this temp. Actually, I've saved this template in by snippets, Google snippet. So how to create snippets, a short intro to creating snippets and using it. This is a snippet. Go to tools, then go to snippet. Snippet, and you can include snippet. And where to create snippet, I'm showing you. This is the very interesting site, snippet generator. Go to snippet generator. This should be the description. Template tab trigger. When you click temp, this should be getting printed. After that, click to Sublime Text, copy the code, copy. So sorry, I put a copy and then paste it on the snippet. If you want to learn more about snippets, Google it, because I am concerned about competitive programming only. In the competitive programming point of view, Google snippets are a blessing. Sorry, snippets are a blessing. First, you need to input int n, cnn. Then you need to create. If number of digit is 4, you need to create an array of 4. If the number of digit is 5, you need to create an array of 5. So after that, int a dash n, and then for loop, int I is equal to 0, I is less than n, and I plus plus, and cin a dash I. After that, for loop, int I is equal to n minus 1, I is greater than is equal to 0, and I minus minus, cout a dash I. See, here at first, this is a minor mistake which would be encountered. After one digit, okay, let me show you. Okay, let me show you in practice. Copy the input statement and then paste it. Okay. I have input 1432 and the output is 2341. But in the sample output and your output, the output are different. If you submit the solution, error will be occurring. See, if you submit your code, your every test case is failing. Now let me show you why. The output is correct, but the compiler is saying wrong answer. Why? Because in the sample output, after every digit, a space is there. So at the initial of competitive programming, you need to be careful with the input-output format. Okay, after this, if you run, this is extremely identical to this. If you now copy the program, paste it, delete this line, then submit your code. It would be getting submitted. As far as I think, if it won't, see, every test case has been passed. So first program is done. Your array DS submission got 10 points. You are now 1 point on the goal level of your program. So okay. So first thing is that you need to try from the starting. Data structure arrays, then go on solving this problem. Then if the easy ones are done, go to medium, then hard. This is a beginner friendly site. Now basic, after I assume that you have done the basic 2-3 problems in this, see now left rotation, dynamic array, left rotation array. See. Now What if, this is the question left rotation, what if I can't solve this problem and I can't find a hint to it? What if? Then click on editorials. Click on editorial, unlock it. Then see the whole editorial. First try to read the main solving part, how it has been solved. If the implementation part is hard, see the pseudocode. If the pseudocode isn't solving the purpose, see others submission. Solve left rotation, submission, leaderboard, go to leaderboard, and then see C++14, view solution, see his solution. This is this user's solution, thanks to this. This is this user's solution. Okay, this is user solution, or array rotation. Try to learn from this site. This site has helped me a lot. I have worked a lot on this site. Okay. Sorry, my bad. Okay, after you have done the basic question, some basic working on C++ programming, then what I need you to do is every time copying the input and then matching it with your physical eyes isn't solving much process. So I would be telling you a trick to it, where some people don't know. Install VS Code. Install VS Code. Install VS Code. Download it and install it. I can't show you because it is already installed and I am using Ubuntu, so basically it won't solve much of purpose. Alternatively, it will strip out the time only. Okay, then moving forward, think of it as this is done. Okay, now after that, competitive programming helper, search this in the extension bar and install it. Okay, after you have done it, go to Chrome browser. I have tested it in Chrome. You can test it on other site, but Chrome is actually basic. Then go to apps, then go to web store. Siddhartha Azra. Then go to search the web store. Yeah. So programming parts, and then you need to install this competitive companion. The name is this. You need to install this. After you have installed it, okay, see what I am doing. This is the basic output. Solve, situate, array.ds. Let me open the same question. Now there come, after you would be practicing 5 or 10 problems, you would encounter a problem that your program is not running as expected. So basically you don't need to copy the input output parts task. Okay. Parse task, copy input, copy the expected output, Yeah. Okay. Then I won't be writing the code again. Cut, paste. I would be deleting this. This is done. Saving it. Two, four, three, output. 4, 3, 2. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, it's passed. Okay, if you remove the space, it would be failing here itself. It is failing here itself. It should now be compiled successfully. Okay, so if you think the program isn't running, what I would be doing is I would be taking an input from 1. I index from 0, I would be taking it from 1. If you run it, the program would be failing. Now I want to know where my program is failing. Every time if you encounter a problem, it isn't a good practice to always hold on to somebody to solve your problems. You need to look after your problems for yourself. Okay, so this is a basic program. Actually, I am teaching you how to solve your own problem. Okay, first there comes a point known as breakpoint. Initialize it at initial point. Okay, then copy the input, then run, start debugging. It's done. Okay, so F10. See, area 4 is created. See, after this loop is completed, the 0 is being stored a garbage value. This can be known here itself by debugging. Actually, it can be known in the output format only that it is printing a garbage value. So but my main objective to do this is to explain the process of debugging. The debugger tool is provided to you in the VS Code. So I expect you to learn this because debugging a program is damn important. After you write 5 to 10 problems, the output of the program would not be providing you a desired output. The undesired output can be changed into desired output if you are working well with the help of debugging. If your debugging doesn't solve the purpose, obviously you can hold on to somebody to solve your problems. But the initial stage which can be done by you can be solved using debugging. See, what is basically debugging? The debugging tools in layman's language basically shows you the breakdown upon where your program is moving. If your program is moving in the 5th step, see which is getting initialized, what is the value. See, in the first step, the ice value is 3. In the next step, the ice value is 2. It would be showing you a breakdown of your whole program. So this is damn useful. Okay, after you have learned debugging, after you have learned the basic syntax, after you have learned the start off with HackerRank, and then I would be coming back again tomorrow to fed up you with my lectures. But after the completion of my lecture upon 2 days, a small test would be taken. and the question would be from the simple variables and the questions from the initial questions of HackerRank. Okay, so don't copy paste obviously. This is for your learning only. The certificate isn't the objective, the learning is the objective. So start off with this. This is the basics of competitive programming. You need to take care of the input-output program, input-output format. You need to parse the questions. You need to in tomorrow's run. I would be rehearsing with the most popular site in our college, that is CodeChef, and we would be starting off with submitting a first problem in CodeChef. First, do some rehearsals with HackerRank, get a good star in it. Acquiring 3 or 4 star is damn easy in CodeChef. Do it, learn from your mistakes, and the initial learning path would be good. Okay, fine, farewell. It's me, Siddharth Hazra, signing off. Thank you, Team Phoenix. Good night. Have a nice day. And do rehearse your learned concept. And yeah, one more thing. Tomorrow I would be discussing the prime sieve. Well, what is prime sieve? You won't be knowing. Prime sieve is basically prime sieve. SEIVE. Prime sieve algorithm. Learn from this. See the video, and I would be explaining it further on tomorrow. Okay, that's me signing off. Thank you.